Joanna Duggar, a well-known member of the Duggar family, has often shared intimate moments of her life with fans through social media. From joyous milestones like the birth of her children to the more mundane aspects of family life, she's been open about the highs and lows of her journey. Recently, though, Joanna found herself in a less-than-ideal situation that many people can relate to: a hair transformation gone terribly wrong. The incident occurred when Joanna decided to take the plunge and try a DIY hair makeover at home. Armed with ambition and a bold sense of adventure, she chose to tackle the task herself, perhaps feeling inspired by the at-home beauty trends that have surged in popularity during the pandemic and beyond. Joanna shared her excitement about the process with her followers, expressing how eager she was to change things up. "You only live once," she said in one of her posts, indicating that she was determined to embrace the moment and take a risk. Many fans applauded her for her confidence and willingness to step outside of her usual, more conservative style. But what seemed like a fun and empowering experience quickly turned into a nightmare. After applying the hair dye herself, Joanna began to notice that something wasn't quite right. The color wasn't what she expected, and it soon became apparent that the transformation was veering off course. Her hair, which was once a rich brown, had turned an unfortunate shade of orange. The uneven dye job left her feeling frustrated and eventually devastated. She posted a video where she could be seen in tears, struggling to process the results. "It was supposed to be a fun change," she said between sobs. "I thought I could do it myself, but now I feel like a mess." Many of her followers responded with empathy, offering advice and words of encouragement. Some suggested she try a color correction treatment or visit a professional stylist to fix the mishap. Others shared their own DIY hair disaster stories, comforting Joanna by letting her know that everyone goes through similar struggles at some point. Despite the tearful moment, the Duggar family star handled the situation with grace. She acknowledged her feelings of disappointment, but also maintained a sense of humor about the whole ordeal. "I guess it's just a lesson," she said, wiping away tears. "You can't always control the outcome. And sometimes, even when things go wrong, you have to laugh and keep going. You only live once, right?" This candid moment was a reminder that no matter how much we might try to control our appearances or outcomes, life has a way of throwing curveballs that we can't always predict. For Joanna, a woman who has lived much of her life in the public eye, this experience also highlighted her vulnerability and authenticity. It wasn't just about the hair. It was about the process of learning to accept imperfections and embracing the messiness of life, even when it doesn't go according to plan. The "you only live once" sentiment that Joanna shared became a bit of a mantra for her as she worked through the aftermath of the failed hair transformation. She reminded herself, and her fans, that life is about more than just looking perfect or achieving flawless results. It's about being true to oneself, experimenting, and not being afraid to make mistakes along the way. After all, we are all human, and there's beauty in those imperfections. Her vulnerability sparked a broader conversation online about the pressures women face to look a certain way. Many commented on how they appreciated Joanna's willingness to show her true self, flaws and all. "It's refreshing to see someone so real," one fan wrote. "You don't have to be perfect to be loved or admired." Thank you for reminding us of that. In the aftermath of her DIY disaster, Joanna decided to embrace her new look, even if it wasn't what she had originally envisioned. She posted a follow-up video, proudly wearing her hair as it was, with a message of acceptance and self-love. "I'm learning to just roll with it and not be so hard on myself," she said, smiling through the awkwardness. "And who knows? Maybe it'll grow on me. If not, well, I can always fix it later. This experience served as a reminder that transformation, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, is not always linear. Sometimes it's messy, uncomfortable, and doesn't go as planned. But that doesn't make it any less valuable. Joanna's openness in sharing the highs and lows of her journey is what makes her so relatable to her followers. She showed that, in the grand scheme of things, a bad hair day, or even a full-blown hair disaster, doesn't define you. What matters most is how you choose to move forward and handle life's challenges with grace, humor, and resilience. As for Joanna's hair, she's likely already planning her next step in the transformation process, whether it's a color correction or perhaps embracing the moment and giving the look some time to grow on her. Regardless of the outcome, one thing is certain. Joanna Duggar has once again demonstrated the power of being real, and that's something her fans, old and new, can undoubtedly appreciate.